And this is the September market report for Washtenaw County. And we're seeing in Washtenaw County really the same trends we've been seeing for the last few months, although within those trends, the gross trend is that the market is still very strong and buyer activity is strong. The minor trend, the underlying trend, is that the market is cooling a little bit from the crazy times that had been in the earlier this year in 2014. And we're seeing that, first of all, as we said before, in the upper end, the $500,000 and above market prices, where listings are more plentiful than they were a year ago. And actually, in most all price ranges, listings are slightly more plentiful. But in the under 250 range, all indicators are still, listings are short, values are going up rather quickly, days on market are shrinking. So all of those activity is still very strong in the under 250 market throughout Washtenaw. And above 250, the higher you get, the slower the market feels. And we do anticipate going into this fall and into winter that the market will settle a little bit. Now, we said the same thing last year, and we were pleasantly surprised the market was stronger than it is, and probably most likely in saying that it's going to slow and settle to a more normal market into the winter and fall. It's more likely I'm wrong on the positive side than the negative side on that regard. So what can sellers expect with that? Well, we looked at foot traffic. In fact, NAR has a chart that is a sort of a national view of foot traffic, meaning buyers looking at houses. And their numbers, the foot traffic is actually up across the country and up compared to last year. Our numbers show similar things, at least equal, if not up in most areas, most price ranges. So it tells us that there are as many buyers out there now as last year. It's just in particularly the upper price ranges in Washtenaw, there are more listings. So for someone selling a home in the $400,000 to $700,000 range or above, it's going to feel like a slower market, and that will continue into the fall. So what can sellers expect? Probably fewer showings going into the fall and winter. Let's slow down on that. Slow down in buyer activity. Offers probably not as frequently or fast. But again, the market is divided into sort of two distinct areas. That perfect house that's got the right price, the right location, right amenities, and that's just selling. It's surprising how many homes are selling within 20 days or 10 days or 5 days. In fact, selling in less than 30 days is still 20% of the market or more, which is surprising. So for the right house, regardless of price range, it's even occurring in the luxury markets as well. That right house, that right price and condition really gets snapped up. But aside from that activity level, the rest of the market you can expect to be slowing a little bit. So sellers have to adjust their expectations to the market being not quite as wild as it was when they talked to the neighbors about the neighbor's sale last spring. So sellers need to expect that change. So the question for sellers is like the old Clash song, should I stay or should I go? Should you wait until next year to sell, or should you sell now? And the reality is it's probably not going to be a big change, at least in the 250 and above market, where values are going to change that dramatically between now and next year. Probably the biggest issue is on a personal level, what do you need to do from a sales standpoint, from what makes sense for your own needs and your family. The other piece that may drive a decision to move now versus waiting is interest rates are expected to go up between now and next year. Most the consensus is it'll still be in the 5% range next year versus 4% now. But it's still every quarter point or point that goes up takes some buying power and some buyers out of the market. That mainly affects the lower price range, and right now in Washtenaw, that lower price range under 250 is so strong right now that it might just cool it a little bit, but in some cases it might need a little bit of cooling. So interest rate rises probably won't affect the upper end too dramatically, but it will affect it. It isn't going to be a negative or zero effect on it. So that's something to keep in mind. But in general, we're going into the fall and into next year, I think, with as much buyer activity as last year. So in terms of the number of transactions and the health of the overall real estate market in Washtenaw County, it looks very good and very stable. So enjoy the fall weather, and it's good weather to sell houses. Thanks.